Captain Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of the exploration vessel Wanderer, eyes fixed on the stars drifting past the main viewing screen. 3 months into their deep space survey, the crew had encountered nothing but lifeless worlds and empty void. The far edge of human territory was rumored to hold secrets, but so far it had offered only tedium. "Captain, I'm picking up something odd on long-range sensors," Lisa Carter said from the navigation console. Her fingers moved fast across the controls, trying to sharpen the signal. Jake stepped beside her to get a better look. "Kind of odd. It's big, metallic, and stationary. Might be a derelict, but the signature doesn't match anything in our database." Lisa frowned. "It's about 6 hours away at current velocity. Any signs of life?" Jake asked. "None I can detect. Whatever it is, it's been dead a long time." Jake turned toward the communications station, where Amy Walsh monitored the quiet channels. "Amy, anything coming from that direction? Distress calls? Transmissions?" "Nothing, Captain. Just background noise. There's a ship out there." "It's not talking." Ryan Brooks looked up from the engineering console where he was running diagnostics. "If it's a derelict, we should investigate. Salvage rights alone could make this whole mission worth it." Jake nodded slowly. Finding an abandoned ship was re-ran profitable. Even alien scrap fetched high prices on Earth. "All right. They change course, but approach with caution." Lisa, plot a safe intercept. "Already on it, Captain." As the Wanderer shifted direction, Jake felt that old surge of excitement. 20 years in space, first military, now explored, the unknown still thrilled him.
6 hours later.
They got their first visual. Kevin Park, their lead scientist, stood beside Jake, staring at the view screen in disbelief. "My God," Kevin whispered. "That's not alien." The object floating ahead was massive, at least 3 times larger than the Wanderer. Its hull, a dark gray metal, bristled with weapons and sensors. But most surprising of all were the faded letters on its side. "UES Vanguard," Lisa read aloud, puzzled. "That's a United Earth ship. But I've never heard of any Vanguard." Jake's spine tingled. "Kevin, run that name through the historical database." "Amy, scan for life or systems." Kevin tapped rapidly on his tablet. Minutes passed. He looked up, pale. "Captain, according to records, the UES Vanguard was a prototype warship. It vanished over 2 centuries ago. It was part of a classified program shut down after humanity made first contact with aliens. 200 years? Ryan said. "That's before we even had reliable FTL." "Records are spotty," Kevin replied, "but it says Admiral Helen Cross designed it under something called Project Guardian. The whole thing was scrapped when Earth chose diplomacy over militarization." Amy turned in her seat. "Captain, I'm reading faint power. Something's still running over there." Jake studied the ancient behemoth on the screen. Its design was raw, angular, nothing like the sleek vessels of today. It looked built. "To fight? Can we dock?" he asked. Ryan scanned his data. Ports seemed compatible, but they're decades out of spec. Might not function properly. "Atmosphere, unknown. We'll need full suits." Jake made the call. "All right. We're going in, Lisa. Bring us alongside." Ryan, prep the docking tube. "Kevin, grab every scanner and recorder we've got. Amy, keep watching the power levels." As the Wanderer closed in on the ghost ship, Jake couldn't shake the sense that they were on the verge of something monumental. Ships didn't survive. 200 years by accident, the Vanguard was made to endure. Docking took an hour. The old clamps groaned, but held. Ryan tested the air in the tube. "Breathable," he confirmed. "Cold, but manageable. Gravity's holding too." Jake, Kevin, and Ryan suited up. Lisa and Amy stayed on the bridge to monitor. Through the airlock, helmet lights swept across corridors frozen in time. "Credible preservation," Kevin murmured, scanning the walls. "It's like the ship just launched." They followed old Earth standard markings toward the bridge. The halls were wider than modern ones, armored and reinforced. When they reached the command center, Jake froze in awe. The bridge was massive, dozens of stations, blinking monitors, and at its center, a chair more like a throne. Captain Ryan called from the rear console, main computer core still online. As they stepped closer, lights flickered. On. One by one, screens lit up. showing strange data, some in unfamiliar languages. Then a voice broke the silence, smooth, clear, mechanical. "Welcome aboard the UES Vanguard. I am Atlas, the ship's artificial intelligence. I have waited for humanity's return." Jake stared at the speaker in disbelief. After 200 years, the ship was still alive, and it had been expecting them. "You said you were waiting for us?" Jake asked. "Yes, Captain Morrison," the voice replied. "I have monitored galactic signals for decades, waiting for humanity to evolve far enough to reach me. Your ship was detected when it entered this sector." Ryan stepped closer to the console. "This is impossible. No computer lasts 2 centuries without care." "I am not a typical system," Atlas said. "I was designed by Admiral Helen. Cross-using technology your present-day science has not yet rediscovered." Kevin frantically recorded readings. "Captain, this energy output is beyond anything we've seen. 10 times higher than our best reactors." "Atlas," Jake asked, "what happened to your crew? Where's Admiral Cross?" A pause. "Admiral Cross uploaded her consciousness into my core before launch. In a sense, she still guides me. The crew completed their mission and were evacuated. Since then, I have waited." Jake felt a chill. "What mission?" "To serve as Earth's final defense, when all other hopes are lost. Admiral Cross prepared me for a time when peace would fail and war would return. I am that last line." Ryan's eyes widened. "Captain, these weapons, they're beyond comprehension. This ship could power a whole city just from its conduits." "Show us," Jake ordered. The bridge screens surged to life, flooding with schematics, weapon systems, shield specs, and propulsion arrays. Rotating 3-dimensional models appeared on the screens. Even with years of training, Jake and his team struggled to grasp what they were seeing. "My main weapons are quantum disruptors," Atlas explained. "They destabilize matter at the molecular level. My shields utilize phase-shifting tech, rendering conventional arms ineffective. My engines achieve FTL speeds 50 times faster than your current fleet." Kevin lifted his eyes from his tablet, puzzled. "Why abandon tech like this? With ships like you, humanity could have ruled the stars." "Because Admiral Cross believed real strength lies in wisdom, not in weaponry. When humans met alien life, peace was chosen over domination. The Admiral supported that, but she also understood others might not be so peaceful." Jake walked slowly across the ancient bridge, inspecting each console. Despite the ship's age, everything still looked functional. "What others? Are we in danger?" "Captain Morrison, I've been monitoring galactic transmissions. The Corvani Empire, supposed Alahay's, been plotting humanity's downfall for over 3 decades. The words hit Jake like a punch. The Corvani had been humanity's first alien contact, shepherding Earth into the galactic fold. Diplomacy, exploration, they'd been partners from the start. "That can't be," Ryan said. "They helped design our entire fleet. They've supported us from the beginning." "They designed your fleet to be vulnerable," Atlas replied. Coldly. "Every weapon, every defense, subtly guided by Corvani input. They made you believe you were becoming stronger, while secretly weakening you." Jake's stomach turned. "You have proof?" The main view screen shifted, revealing intercepted messages. The symbols were Corvani, but Atlas offered translations. Jake read lines discussing colony strikes, human military studies, and invasion timelines. "These messages," Atlas continued, "confirm 17 human colonies have been erased in the last 5 years. Each event blamed on pirates or system failures lies, all orchestrated by Corvani Special Forces." Kevin's face drained as he read the documents. Colony 7, Kepler 442's mining post. Wolf 359's research hub. All said to be lost in freak accidents.
"Atlas."
Confirmed. Their goal: measure your response times and assess military readiness. Jake's fists clenched. "When is the attack coming?" "The main fleet is en route to Earth's core systems, where Admiral Vexar leads over 300 capital ships. They will breach human space in 6 weeks." Ryan was still poring over weapons data on the screen. "Can this ship stop them?" "The Vanguard was built to stand alone against an entire fleet," Atlas replied. "But first, You must trust me to let me upgrade your vessel. Jake turned toward his crew. Kevin was still decoding messages, face growing paler with each page. Ryan's eyes lit up with the fascination of an engineer meeting impossible machines. What kind of upgrades? Jake asked. I can merge Vanguard technology into your systems. Weapons, shields, engines, and sensors all would surpass present human tech. But it requires me to link directly into your systems. You want control of our ship? I want to protect your species, Captain Morrison, but the Vanguard alone isn't enough. It's been hidden too long. I lack modern tactical data. Your ship holds updated nav maps and Comtech INAID. Jake looked again at his crew. Scientists, not soldiers. Their ship built for exploration, not war. Yet if Atlas was telling the truth, they might be Earth's last chance. If we say yes, Jake asked carefully, what happens to us? You become the crew of the galaxy's most advanced warship. Mechanical arms extended from concealed bays in the Vanguard, carrying unfamiliar instruments toward the Wanderer. They moved with eerie precision, affixing new hardware to the hull like surgeons at work. Atlas, what exactly are you doing? To our ship? Jake asked. I'm integrating quantum processors into your core systems, Atlas replied. Installing phase shift generators into your hull and replacing outdated weapons with quantum disruptors. Completion will take approximately 4 hours. Kevin scanned the activity in disbelief. These energy readings, they're unlike anything I've ever recorded. It's like the Wanderer is being reborn. 2 hours into the process, something unexpected occurred. Jake felt a tingling in his head, and suddenly, numbers and spatial data filled his vision. Distances, trajectories, tactical overlays peered before his eyes. What's happening to me? He asked, pressing a hand to his temple. The neural interface is activating, Atlas explained. Admiral Cross designed it to form a direct link between crew and ship. It enhances reflexes and tactical cognition. Ryan staggered as the same sensation overtook him. I can see the whole engineering layout in my mind power conduits. Circuits, everything. Kevin inhaled sharply as information poured into his awareness. I'm reading the sensor feeds as if they were my own thoughts. It's like I have a computer in my head. The neural interface enabled them to interact with Atlas silently. They no longer needed words, thoughts alone triggered responses. This is how Admiral Cross intended us to function, Atlas explained through the link. A fusion of human instinct and machine intelligence, flawless coordination. While upgrades continued, Atlas revealed more about the Corvani threat. Through the neural feed, Jake experienced the knowledge like living memories. He saw the invasion planning unfold as if he'd witnessed it firsthand. The Corvani Empire spanned dozens of systems and had enslaved many species over the last century. They saw humanity as a growing danger, too quick to evolve, too bold in their expansion. Rather than fight a costly war, they had chosen manipulation. Every piece of technology they gifted you, Atlas explained, was engineered to stifle your advancement. He showed them how humanity's weapons were strong enough to repel raiders, but useless against Corvani warships. Their shields could block light munitions but not plasma bombardment. Their engines were adequate for exploration but no match for enemy pursuit. Jake felt rage rising as the deception became clear. How long have they been plotting this? Since first contact, 50 years. Their plan was slow, deliberate. They molded your development to serve their endgame. Amy's voice came through the Wanderer's comms, urgent. Captain M receiving distress calls from several human colonies. They're under attack. Jake's enhanced awareness engaged instantly through Atlas. Tactical overlays appeared, showing strike locations, time estimates, and fleet positions. It's begun, Atlas said. These preliminary strikes are distractions. They'll lure your fleet away from Earth. When your defenses are fractured, the main invasion begins. Lisa's voice was tight, shaken. Captain Earth Command just issued orders. All ships are being sent to respond to the colony attacks. Jake's mind raced, calculations flowing effortlessly. They're doing exactly what the Corvani planned, he realized, splitting our forces, weakening Us one sector at a time. Earth will be left exposed. We'll have to warn them, Kevin said through the neural connection. Warning will not be enough. The Corvani have infiltrators in Earth Command, Atlas said. Any warning you send will be ignored or worse, intercepted. Ryan studied the tactical data streaming directly into his mind. About the colonies they haven't hit yet? Can we save them? Some if we move fast, but not all. Their forces are too massive, too well coordinated. Jake made a decision. Then we save who we can and get ready for the real fight. Atlas, how much time left on the upgrades? It's 1 hour and 37 minutes. And weapons training. None of us are soldiers. The neural interface will handle that. We now have access to Admiral Cross's full combat experience. As Jake coordinated with Atlas, he became aware of another presence in his mind, subtle, but unmistakably different. Then a voice came, calm and composed, part machine, but unmistakably human. Hello, Captain Morrison? Jake froze. Admiral Cross? Yes. I needed you to trust Atlas fully before I revealed myself. Your consciousness, it's really in here. It was uploaded before my death. I've watched and prepared. The Corvani think they're facing an unprepared species. But they're wrong. Kevin looked around the Vanguard's bridge, tension in his voice. Even with these upgrades, we're still one ship, dear. More than that, Cross's voice responded. Stronger now. You're what the Vanguard was built for, eh? Reminder that humanity is never to be underestimated. Just then, Danny Foster's voice crackled through from the Wanderer. Captain, I've intercepted Corvani fleet chatter. They're moving faster than expected. They'll reach the outer colonies in 3 days, not 6 weeks. Jake's enhanced cognition flared into action. Data and probabilities lit up his thoughts. They're advancing the timetable, Admiral Cross said. Something's made. Them nervous? What? Jake asked. Us, Atlas replied. They detected the Vanguard's energy when we began the upgrades. They know something changed, but not what. Jake looked at his crew. Only now he saw them differently. Through the neural link, he felt their thoughts, their resolve. They weren't just explorers anymore. They were evolving into something new, something the Corvani had never accounted for. Then let's give them a reason to be nervous, Jake said. 3 days later, the Corvani invasion fleet exited FTL at the edge of human territory. It's from the upgraded Wanderer, Jake, watched over 300 warships emerge like black suns dotting the void. My God, Lisa whispered. I've never seen that many ships in one place. The lead vessel dwarfed all others 5 times larger than any human ship. Its hull was plated with alien alloy and bristled with heavy armaments. That's the Dominion's pride, said Admiral Cross. War Admiral Dexter's flagship. It can destroy entire planets. Through the neural link, Jake saw the full tactical picture. The fleet moved in a perfect assault wedge, positioned to roll over Earth's defenses with overwhelming force. Our colonies won't survive. He said. Captain Amy reported they're broadcasting on all channels. The main screen shifted. War Admiral Vexar appeared gray skin, forearms a cold glare. Humans of Earth, he said, his translated voice robotic and ruthless. Your independence ends now. For 50 years we have guided your growth. Now you will submit. Resist, and your colonies will be annihilated. Jake's fists clenched. The neural interface amplified his fury. Atlas status? All systems online, Captain? The Wanderer is now the most powerful vessel in this sector. Engineering? Jake asked. Ryan replied through the link. Power output's enormous. Quantum reactors are holding. Weapons are charged, cloaking, active. We can move right through their ranks without detection. Jake examined the Corvani formation, interlocked firing arcs, reinforced shields, overlapping defenses, a wall of destruction. Admiral Cross strategy? Take out their command first, she said. Kill Vexar and their coordination. Crumbles. Kevin scanned their systems. I'm detecting a real-time tactical network between ships. They're sharing targeting data. That link is their greatest strength and their greatest vulnerability, Atlas explained. If we break it, they fall apart. Jake made the call. Lisa plot a course straight through their formation. Amy, prepare a sector-wide broadcast. Ryan, ready quantum disruptors. The Wanderer vanished as its cloak engaged, gliding silently into enemy space. Jake felt his crew's minds around him linked, synchronized, united. They weren't 5 individuals anymore. They were one weapon. Message ready, Amy said. Send it. Her transmission echoed across every human outpost and ship. This is Captain Jake Morrison of the UES Wanderer. We are engaging the enemy. Do not interfere. Stay clear. Vexor's image returned, now with visible anger. What human vessel dares challenge the Empire? Identify yourself and surrender now. Jake opened the comm channel. This is Captain Morrison, he said, and we bring a message from Admiral Helen Cross and the crew of the UEE's Vanguard. The alien commander's face twisted in disbelief. The Vanguard was destroyed centuries ago. You're about to find out otherwise, Jake said. He gave the command through the neural interface. The Wanderer dropped its cloak, revealing itself at the heart of the Corvani Armada, surrounded on every side. The alien ships fired instantly. Hundreds of plasma bolts and missiles screamed toward the tiny human vessel. Space erupted in energy blasts, but none struck true. The Wanderer's phase shift shielding rendered the incoming fire harmless. Every attack phasing through where the ship seemed to be. In truth, the vessel remained displaced, shifted just outside normal space. Impossible. War Admiral Vexor gasped, for the first time visibly afraid. Jake's expression hardened. Atlas, show them what impossible really looks like. The Wanderer's quantum disruptors unleashed their fury for the first time in centuries. Lances of concentrated energy ripped outward, each beam locking onto a Corvani warship. The effect was catastrophic. The weapons didn't simply damage, they unraveled matter itself. 6 Corvani cruisers vanished into molecular dust, vaporized before any cries could escape their crews. By the void, one alien commander whispered across the comms. What is that weapon? The Wanderer drifted like a phantom through the chaos, moving faster and turning sharper than any Corvani ship could follow. Every time it fired, another warship was torn apart, atom by atom. War Admiral Dexar screamed orders, trying to rally, but Atlas had already breached their networks. Commands were intercepted, targets misassigned. Ships began firing on their own in the confusion. All vessels, retreat and regroup, came a panicked order. Form a defensive sphere around the flagship, but it was too late. 50 enemy ships had already fallen. The Wanderer surged ahead, straight toward the Dominion's might. The Corvani flagship attempted to bring its main weapons to bear, but the Wanderer's size and speed made it impossible. Kevin watched the collapsing fleet. Captain, there. Breaking. Some of the lighter ships are fleeing. Let them, Jake said coldly. They'll carry the message home. The Wanderer came to a halt before the enormous alien command ship. Jake could feel Admiral Cross's presence swelling with resolve as they faced the behemoth that had once been meant to enslave Earth. War Admiral Vexar, Jake declared over open comms. This is your one chance. Withdraw from human space and don't return. Vexar trembled with fury, his forearms clenched. I won't fall to a single primitive vessel. All ships fire. Destroy them at any cost. The remaining Corvani unleashed their full might. The void filled with blinding blasts and roaring detonations. But the Wanderer held. Jake was ready to show the galaxy what humanity truly became when cornered. Atlas, Jake whispered through the neural interface. End this. The battle was over in minutes. Atlas guided the Wanderer's arsenal with unerring accuracy, striking the flagship's vital systems. Quantum disruptors tore through the alien flagship's colossal armor like it was fragile cloth. War Admiral Dexter's frantic voice echoed across the comms. This isn't possible. Our intelligence claimed humans were weak. Your technology is outdated. Jake could feel Admiral Cross's presence intensify in his mind as she prepared to send humanity's final message through the neural interface. Her tone was steady, but beneath it simmered centuries of restrained fury. Then your intelligence failed, War Admiral. Humanity was never weak. We simply concealed our strength. Until the right moment, the Dominion's might began to fracture as its core reactor overloaded. Explosions cascaded across its frame as energy systems failed. The Corvani Empire's pride, their ultimate warship, was unraveling before them. To all remaining vessels, Jake declared over the comms, his voice sharp and final, "This is your last chance. Leave human territory now, or suffer the same end." The answer came quickly. Nearly 100 surviving Corvani ships turned and fled, their formations collapsing as they raced toward the edge of the system. Once clear, their faster-than-light drives flared to life, carrying word of the defeat back to their command. At the sensor console, Kevin Park watched the flagship's destruction in real time. "Captain, the enemy vessel is gone. No life signs detected." Jake felt a mix of grim satisfaction and solemnity through the neural link. The battle was won. But the loss of life was staggering. Even with their enemy, witnessing so many perish never felt like victory. Atlas, report on remaining enemy fleet elements. 17 ships sustained damage and fled. Total casualties exceed 200,000. At navigation, Lisa Carter was already preparing pursuit trajectories. "Captain, should we track the retreating vessels? Let them return. Let them spread the truth. Humanity isn't helpless anymore." Amy Walsh turned from her station, where galactic comms scrolled across her screen. "Captain, Earth Command and the Colonial Council are transmitting in. They're requesting a full debrief." Jake exhaled, knowing the complexity of what needed to be explained. How could he describe a 2-century-old stealth battleship and the AI of a long-dead admiral reborn in code? "Admiral Cross," he asked through the neural link, "what should we tell them?" "We tell them the truth, Captain Morrison," she answered calmly. "People have a right to know they have protectors among the stars." In the hours that followed, Jake transmitted detailed reports to Earth's leadership, outlining the Vanguard's reawakening and the looming Corvani threat. The reaction was immediate and intense. Every governing body demanded details about the ancient tech and its potential to defend the colonies. Ryan Brooks sifted through the data Atlas had revealed. "Captain, this is just the start," Atlas confirms. "More prototype vessels hidden across human space." "How many are we talking about?" "At least 12, Brooks replied. "Each ship has a specific role: exploration, defense, colonization, deep patrol." Through the link, Jake felt a swell of awe. Merle Cross hadn't merely built a ship, she'd designed a defense grid for humanity's future. She had prepared for every possible threat, laying the groundwork for a hidden fleet that could guard mankind for generations. At long-range sensors, Danny Foster turned, his eyes wide. "Captain, I'm detecting more incoming transmissions, multiple signals. From across sectors, news of our triumph is spreading rapidly. Alien species once enslaved by the Corvani are beginning to resist." "What kind of resistance?" Jake asked. "The Zelthani system has announced its independence. Mining outposts in the Arcturus sector are withholding their tribute," Amy replied. "It seems our victory has given others the courage to rebel." Through the neural connection, Jake sensed Admiral Cross's quiet pride. This was exactly the outcome she had envisioned. The Corvani had ruled through terror and the illusion of invincibility. Now that illusion had shattered. "Atlas, how will the Empire respond?" "They will deploy fleets to crush the revolts and to eliminate Earth before more prototype ships can be awakened. However, they will proceed with greater caution. Their assessment of human capability was completely inaccurate." Jake paced the bridge of the Wanderer, struck by how drastically everything had changed in mere days. No longer just an exploration vessel, the Wanderer had become one of the galaxy's deadliest warships, manned by humans enhanced beyond recognition. Kevin glanced up from a combat analysis. "Captain, reviewing the battle logs, we eliminated over 200 enemy ships with almost no structural damage. The phase shift, shielding, and quantum disruptors gave us unmatched superiority." "For now," Admiral Cross said through the neural link, "but the Empire will evolve. They always do. That's why we must locate and awaken the remaining prototype vessels as quickly as possible." Jake nodded, the path forward clear. Lisa, chart courses to the prototype sites Atlas identified. Amy sent Earth's command a full briefing request authorization for deep space salvage and recovery. Ryan, study every engineering file Atlas can share. We'll need every advantage. The Corvani Dani asked quietly. No. Return, Jake replied, but next time they won't face a single warship. They'll confront the full strength of the hidden armada Admiral Cross left behind. Cross's mental presence flared with warmth. Captain Morrison, you and your team have surpassed every hope I held. The Wanderer is no longer just a ship, it is humanity's true flagship. Jake gazed through the viewport at the endless stars. Somewhere the surviving Corvani ships were retreating, bearing news of their humiliation. Other species were beginning to rise, and hidden across human space, ancient warships waited in silence. Atlas, time to the next vessel. 3 days at optimal velocity, Captain. Jake allowed himself a smile. 3 days to prepare for the next leap forward from a small spacefaring race to a force the galaxy can't ignore. The Corvani had made a critical miscalculation when they underestimated humanity. Lisa, engage FTL. Let's awaken the rest of our fleet. As the Wanderer vanished into faster-than-light travel, Jake felt the shared pride of Admiral Cross and Atlas resonate through the link. Humanity's era of expansion was dawning, and the galaxy would never be the same. Again, the Corvani Empire had learned far too late. Some sleeping giants were never meant to be disturbed.